Hello once again, and this is a part of our Transformation, the Ultimate Surrender series. It's series 101, and our message for today is entitled Planning for Life, message number 005. And as you can see on our chart very quickly, you can see our self-esteem hierarchy of needs. This is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Most of you are familiar with that. Back in 1943, a man named Maslow came out with the basic needs that we all have, and he began by talking about our need for self-actualization at the top of the pyramid, but more importantly down here he focused on our need, our psychological need. Let's see if we highlight that a little bit better. Our psychological needs is where he began, and here he talked about breathing, food, water, sex, sleep, balance, excretion, living basic life, the things that we need to survive in this world. And then he moved up the scale a bit, and he went up to the need for public safety. We all have this need, the security of the body. We want employment. We want somehow to be able to have the resources we need to survive on the planet. And we have a sense of morality. We need family. And of course we need a healthy body. And of course we need some space or some place to live. Then he moved on up the scale to love and belonging need. Here he talked about friendship, the need for friendship, the need for family, the need for sexual intimacy and closeness. And then he moved up to self-esteem, and there we're talking about confidence, achievement, respect for others, respect by others. And then we got finally to the top of our pyramid, which is self-actualization. This is where we become who God intended us to be. This is the highest level of morality. Creativity becomes available to us. Spontaneity becomes available. We can now solve some of the big questions about life, and we can look at life not through the lens of any kind of bias or prejudice. We can accept the facts, and we can, at this particular point in our life, we can evolve toward God. So when we begin to look more closely at this hierarchy, we can begin to conclude several things. That in order for us to achieve self-actualization, beginning at the lower levels, we got to begin our life with what I call a vision. We got to have some kind of vision. What do I see? What do I see myself achieving? We're going to start up here in our pyramid. We draw a little stick man, like I like to draw. This is the body, legs coming here, or woman, whichever you prefer, a little smiley face. And we begin to see, what do I see? What is my vision for my life? My life vision. What do I see myself being, doing, and having in my life? If I can see it, if I believe it, I can achieve it. And we start off in a perfect world with this idea that we can be, do, and have whatever we want in our life if we can actually see ourselves with that. It's interesting, sometimes people want a new car, but they can't see themselves with a new car. Some people want a bank account or a better job, but they can't see themselves with a better job. And because they can't see it in their mind's eye, they can't visualize it, then there's a limitation right there on the reality taking place in their life. And then following that is a mission. A mission. What is my mission for life? What is it that I want not only to achieve and do, but what is it that I want to break my vision down into a biteable statement? You know, a mission statement would be like, if I want to be a doctor, I see myself as the best doctor in the world, and then my mission would be to complete undergrad medical school, college and medical school, and then achieve that by the time if I was younger, a lot younger than I am now, I would probably give myself maybe 10 years to get through the whole process of college, undergrad, an internship, and into a private practice. And then we have to break that down into goals. We have to break our mission statement down into goals. So over here we got the vision, we got the mission. Now these can be statements about our life, what we want to achieve, what we see ourselves achieving. But over on the goals side, we get into a little more details. Let's put our goals down here. The challenge now with goals is to how do we break down the mission statement into perhaps areas that we want to achieve. What are we going to do? What do we need to do first, second, and third in order to achieve the goals that we want in our life? What do we do next in order to bring into our experience the good that we desire? And then we want to move from our goals to our objectives. And we may have several objectives over here, 1, 2, 3, that might be related to one goal. And as you can see, this begins to grow exponentially as you begin to focus on the objectives tied to a particular goal. So you may have here a total of, you had 3 objectives for each goal. Now you got 9 basic objectives for the 3 goals if you had 3 objectives for each goal. But you could have many, many more. It depends on how complicated your vision is and how straightforward your mission is. Now, once you get past the objectives, each objectives break down into tasks. And that means what are you going to actually do to achieve each one of your objectives. And you may have 10 tasks that might be tied to a particular objective here. So now you may have 10 tasks tied to one objective. You have 3 objectives tied to each goal, and then you are now trying to carry out each of these tasks. And then you get to this part where there's a timeline involved. And this timeline, we'll put that in this box over here, timeline, means how long it's going to take you to achieve one task over here. So if you got one task over here, and it's going to take you, let's say a month, 1 month, to achieve a particular task, then you begin to see how this whole thing expands exponentially into what we're calling a plan. And this plan then begins to unfold as you begin to drill down into the times that it would take to complete this task and the times that it would take to complete the objective, time that it would take to complete the goal, and at some point you would achieve your mission and your vision will come into focus. So basically, when you're looking at going back up to Maslow's theory, at the psychological level, you could break all of these things down into manageable bites by looking at it from a vision, mission, goals, objective, task, timeline, kind of a line of sight. So you could take food, clothing, and shelter, which are all tied to the things that you want to do every day to survive, and then you want to make sure that you are secure in that process, and that you include as you go along your desire for longing and belonging, and making sure that you keep your energy up, or have a strong self-esteem here. So you're going up the chain, you're going up the pyramid, but you're going up the pyramid with this vision as your highest good, and at some level your mission would crystallize around here, but down here is where all of the work would be done. all of the work that's necessary to achieve the good that you desire. And then you can bring into focus, not only bring into focus, you can bring into focus these other areas that are very, very important. You can survive with these psychological needs, but in order to be happy and productive, you'd want to move up the chain and work toward your vision and your mission in life. Now, this appears to be a little more complicated than it looks on the surface, but if you're going to do a life plan, you also got to factor in, well, how much is this going to cost? What costs are associated with all the things that I want to do? Because clearly, when you take a look at what you're trying to achieve, let's go back to our example of going to medical school, becoming a doctor. Not only just a doctor, but the best doctor. That means you won't have to go to the best schools. That's going to what? Cost money. Your mission is going to be rated to the best schools. That's going to be money. But when you break that down into how much it's going to cost to finish college, how much it's going to cost to finish med school, how much it's going to cost for me to intern at a particular hospital. There's money involved in everything that you're going to do, no matter what it is, whether you decide that you want to go in a particular career or not, or whether you decide that you just want to work at a hotel. There's always going to be costs. There's transportation costs. If you have children, there's babysitting costs. So you want to factor in the cost that's going to be tied to your timelines, that's going to be tied to your tasks, that's going to be tied to your objectives, that's going to be tied to your goals, and of course, your mission and your vision then manifest itself, materialize. Last, before we complete this lesson, let's take a look at our drawing right here. At some level, you're going to build on all of these things, the cost, the timelines, the tasks, the objectives, the goals, and of course, at the very, very top, you have what you want to achieve. You have the things that you want to achieve at the very, very top of your pyramid, as is represented by this little sun figure here, and that could be your vision and your mission. But in closing, let me tell you the importance of evaluation, because evaluation asks one simple question: how do I know I have reached my mission, or completed my mission, and my vision? You have to build in here a evaluation method that can take a look at sort of like a checklist or a to-do list. And as you complete all the various things in your life, you got a clear vision now, check, and that vision is tied to your mission, check. Your goals have been achieved, all the ones you had here, the 3 goals, whatever they were, they've been achieved. But they were achieved by you achieving them individually with each objective for each goal, check. And then you move on to all the tasks that led up to the achievement of the objectives, and you put your little checks here, and you completed them all on time, or at least you may have been flexible enough to build in the adjustments needed to get them done, and then you factored in what it was going to cost you, and now this system of evaluation lets you know that your mission and your vision has been achieved. This could turn out to be 20, 30, 40, 50 pages when you get it all down on paper, but the idea is to move ahead and achieve the good that you desire, the things that you desire, and be the kind of person that you want to be, and at that level you will be the kind of person you want to be. We'll talk a little bit more about each one of these things. They each have lessons tied to them independent of this overview, and this is just an overview of what's possible, and we're going to hang some information on the frame in our next lesson.